All right, how's it going, everybody? This is your old pal CK Blackwood. Salutations and warmest regards. So, I'm doing an interview today. As you can plainly see, I have a couple of very special guests. Now, I think it was last week, the weekend of June 15th, 2019, this year, the hopefully now defunct Revival Baptist Church of Claremont, Florida, held something called the Make America Straight Again Conference. I'm going to let that sink in for a minute. The title of which is disgusting enough, obviously, right? So I knew, being that there was a lack of awareness, that I had to be the one to stage a protest. So we did. And it could not have gone better. It was a tremendous success. I'm on cloud nine over it. I was, I still am, I always will be. And two of the lovely people who come from a beautiful family who happened to show up for the protest are Sherry and Lola here. Sherry, Lola, thanks for being here. Welcome to my world. So why don't we kick this off? Why don't we start off having the two of you introduce yourselves and just tell my world a little bit about you. Sherry, why don't you go first?
I'm Sherry Smith. This is adorable.
Taylor Swift, right?
That one. And yeah, we're very politically active and we're weird, thank you. We're weird. But we've been basically involved in protesting and rallying and every cause since before you were even born, I think.
Since 2016.
Was it 2016?
Oh, since 2016 is when Donald Trump was elected.
So that's when you started getting politically
well,
involved.
we've been politically involved before even Lola was around, and with her older sisters with things like Hands Across the Sands and the offshore drilling, things like that. But I think it hit an all-time high when
Yes, I'm sure you guys would know.
now it's like a weekly event where that wasn't really necessary before, and now all of a sudden it's unfortunately necessary to be consistently out there and voicing things that we didn't have to before.
It makes it easier, right? I mean, that everybody's protesting now, and everybody has a voice.
This is true. That's the only good thing. That's maybe
The only good thing, well, I mean, you got to make a positive.
There's
out of
not
it.
a lot else I can say for Donald Trump, but at least he's got people out there voicing their opinions. Where
So real quick, what all? I mean, you touched on it already, but what all political or social issues do you find important, or did you even before Donald Trump got there?
well, environment. That's important.
It's a good one.
We want a future for our kids.
And some of like the churches and the government is telling people who to be and who to love, and that's bad.
That's very bad. That's right. It's LGBTQ issues. It's a huge thing right now with what's going on with immigration. That's a whole other. I don't even have words for that now. There's protests going on. Stuff coming.
Yeah,
that will be out there.
All the families that are being ripped apart.
It's insane. I mean, it never ends, the amount of things, women's
Never ends.
rights right now, and everything that's going on with trying to basically strip any sort of minority seems to be happening right now, all at the same time. It's hard to put your finger on anything. It's if you're
absolutely.
a racial minority, if you're a sexual minority, if you're a gender minority, it doesn't matter. The White House is against you right now, and that's
For the record,
scary
for those of
part.
you who may not know, if you've been living under a rock, the current political climate, the Make America Straight Again conference was reflective of that. It was not even an issue of free speech, as they might like to claim. They're calling for not only just for blatant discrimination, but direct violence against people who are just trying to be themselves. That's the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning, intersex, or interabled for that matter, asexual, genderqueer, gender fluid, non-binary, what have you. The LGBTQIA plus community is being affected. They're having life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness robbed from them. That's what these people want, the people in the so-called NIFB. So, Lola, why don't you introduce yourself? And you're non-binary, right? Or do you want to tell the people a little bit about that?
So I don't care if anyone calls me a girl or a boy, cause I usually like go for a girl and then go for a boy. I usually change, so
We went through a they phase,
yeah.
and people didn't respond well. So
They never
it's kind
seem
of
to, right?
backtrack for, unfortunately, for the comfort of other people and not having to constantly explain things. Lola made a decision that boy or girl.
Okay, if you can, do me a favor, just keep your voice up for the camera so they can hear you, okay? So, okay, so you don't mind if people call you a girl,
Yeah.
but what would you prefer? If you had it your way, in a perfect world, as they say. Would you prefer they or them?
It's complicated for kids, I think. Lola's usually, when I ask questions like, well, do you want she or he or they, the answer's always been Lola.
Yeah, because
And
I
it's
mean,
hard
you feel like
to-
this is a person, right? I mean, yeah, so, okay, so let me, since I know you already said it into the megaphone at the protest, and you've said it into the media but, a couple times, but first, what would your message be to kids out there, or anybody out there, who's struggling with gender identity issues?
You should,
Thinking about it.
Yeah, just- do you have a message for those on the opposing side? You know, you mentioned it at the protest. You said that people should be who they're allowed to be. What would you say to what would you say to the
This is your podium
people
speak.
from the NIFB, the new Independent Fundamental Baptist Movement?
be who you want to be and love who you want to love.
Yeah, exactly. You guys need to take note of that, because you are not permitted to love who you want to love or to be who you want to be, contrary to what you think. You don't have any freedom. So thank you for saying that. Let's see, what else? Why don't you talk about, I mean, have you had, you mentioned having the struggle of, you know, people not being receptive to any of them.
Yes.
Have there been any other, what's school like for you, Lola?
I actually really like school because I like learning.
We transferred schools recently.
Because of this?
Not specifically because of this, actually had to do with the hurricane, but it's been a very positive thing.
Did you guys have to move states?
No, thankfully, we had to move towns.
Okay,
and
but I'm
that
sorry if
worked
your
well
home
for
got
us.
destroyed or anything like that.
Yeah.
Sorry to
but
hear that.
it actually turned out into a really good thing because, well, it was old school, we had some issues over, Lola was wearing bow ties
Yeah, I really
to
like
school.
wearing
You like wearing bow, I like wearing ties too. They wouldn't allow you to do it?
Yeah.
Any bow tie or just that one?
No, any bow tie because Lola was a girl.
Like the
And it was not allowed in their dress code for listed under girls, and they had separate dress codes for girls and boys.
And what school was that?
That was Loftman Oaks.
Yeah,
Was Loftman Oaks?
Loftman Oaks Elementary.
Loftman Oaks Elementary, is that what that
We
is?
ended up working it out with the principal.
And which city was that?
Davenport.
Davenport, Florida, okay.
And we ended up working
to
that
know.
out with the principal. I believe it was the principal I talked to. I had to make phone calls about it because Lola was told to remove it in class. It was a whole thing.
Yeah.
And we
So they made a
worked it
big
out.
deal out of it. Talk about, yeah, what,
The
yeah,
first day I was allowed to wear it because I didn't know that much about all of the stuff because I was in kindergarten. So I didn't know about the rules yet.
And then they
But
started.
then they started like telling me that I can't wear bow ties and stuff. And that made me sad.
yeah, that's not fair, is it? I mean, it's not a,
But
you
they
know,
let the boys wear bow ties.
yeah, I mean,
Which
you
is
don't,
ridiculous.
yeah, exactly, I mean, it is ridiculous, isn't it? I mean, that they would make gender such a cut and dry thing. You know what that means, cut and dry?
No.
Like, it's hard to explain, maybe you can explain it better than I could.
That they believe that's a black and white issue. That
That's what I was gonna say, black and
girls
white.
are girls, boys are boys. They don't see the in between that some people might feel. And honestly, even if you are, say, one of my daughters wanted to go to school in bow tie, and completely straight female wanting to go, they should still be allowed to wear a bow tie. It's
Exactly.
still a
It's a-
silly.
it's a nice outfit.
The entire gender issue shouldn't exist where we have separate rules for boys and girls in the first place. Nonetheless,
Okay, so we had to take a little break because the camera cut off. So, okay, so you were saying, Lola, you were saying how you're excited, but you're still nervous for the future, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Because number one, I want to see mom.
You want to to stay small?
Because then I can
That's
fit in
good.
small spaces again.
Okay, but for the future, what do you think, say things don't change, what do you think the future would be like?
I hope that, like, I hope, that Donald Trump will stay in the future. That's one thing.
Or what if he does? Do you think being a grandma's gonna be harder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why?
Because I'm not gonna have as much energy, I feel like.
No.
You're not gonna
Ain't
be
that the
energy in
truth,
protest anymore?
I'm not gonna have as much energy.
Listen, I'm almost an old man, so I've still got plenty of energy.
More
So
like energy like to run and protect like running.
You're tired. You think you're gonna be too tired, but to do marches, like that sort of thing?
Yeah,
how many marches have you guys done?
Oh, wow.
we've done a lot.
A lot. Well, that's good.
Uh-huh.
You got to march in the streets. That's how progress happens. You know that, right? That people protest. Oh, he's counting on his hands.
I can't even count.
We got Dad in the background as the cameraman. So, okay. But I mean, do you feel good right now being able to be yourself in your new school? Or, I mean, do you feel like you can be yourself?
I feel really good, especially because this school, they don't judge being girls or being boys. They're like all together. We have same outfits, and yeah, we have to wear bow ties.
Is it a public school?
Yes.
It is a public school.
Okay, so was the other one a private school?
Both are public schools. I think it's a matter of area, what kind of.
I'm looking at you. What was the name of that school again? I'm looking at you. I'm talking to you.
Laughlin
So,
Oaks.
Laughlin and Oaks, yeah. You guys are a public school. We need to take notice on that. So, so there aren't uniforms. You just wear whatever you want.
No, there's uniforms.
There's uniforms, but the rules are basically the same for everyone. There's no separate uniform rules, so.
Like,
everybody's
you
treated
don't have to
fairly.
wear a skirt, do you, Lola? Or a dress?
Yeah, I can wear skirts, dresses, shorts, pants.
Okay, so that's good.
And that's generally like boys and girls in the middle, they're not gonna question it, which is very refreshing, like.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, yeah, and I mean, I think things are going to
I
change.
wouldn't wear pants and a shirt though.
Yeah, see, I figured, yeah. I mean, because I think things are going to change
I
for the
think they're
better.
more comfy.
There you go. It's all about comfort, right? That's what dress
Well,
should
it
be.
should be about.
Well, comfort and looking good, I think. So, okay, so then yes or no? You think things are going to change for the better? Or they are changing already?
I don't know.
What do you think you see, like right now?
I see.
Because I mean, we have Donald Trump and Mike Pence, which I mean, I guess I'll ask that. How do you guys feel about Mike Pence? Do you know much about him?
No.
He's the vice president, the vice chair that works with Donald Trump. He believes in things like, well, he's very anti-LGBT.
Did you know he tried to have a woman arrested for getting an abortion? Did you know that, Lola?
True. She went to the march about that.
Did you guys go to the pro-choice march in Orlando?
Yes,
Yes.
Oh, I was there too.
she
Okay,
was
cool.
there with a loudspeaker and she.
I wish I'd seen that. Hope somebody got it on camera.
Oh yeah, we got footage of all sorts of.
Oh, but there you go. I mean, hopefully you can send that to me. I can include it in this video. And I'll also try to include footage from my protest. Well, I guess, we're everybody's getting antsy, so I mean, we'll probably be out of time at this point, but I guess the last thing I'll ask is, Sherry, what's the last thing you would want to say? Like, if you had to put out a message to the public? what would it be?
Let's see. The pressure. I guess.
Yeah, no pressure. I told you, leave it all on me. Don't worry about anything.
I guess the main message that I would want to say, especially as a parent, is kids need to be involved in politics, and a lot of people feel very strongly about not doing that. They feel incredibly strongly. I'll show up at rallies with my children, and I'll have so many people come say, know, they don't belong here. Kids should be sheltered from the truth right now. They're not ready for it. They won't understand it.
Kids are a lot more intuitive
A lot of
than we
people
give
think it's
credit for, right?
dangerous.
Yeah.
And I'm constantly trying to tell people that kids need to know what's going on because it's their future and they have the right to fight for their own futures, especially since nowadays so many adults aren't doing it. They should be, and I would love for them to be, but they're just not. And that's my kids.
Yeah, we got kids in the background too.
But
What do you want to say?
And I do not like the Donald Trump people locking the kids up in cages.
Yeah, they're separating them from their families and putting them in cages to where they die, right?
Yeah. Parents should be helping children. And those that are helping them, they're making them suffer.
Yeah, so you sell out to the corporate world, you're not going to help it. You're supposed to be helping children. You hear that? Take notice. Again. Anything else you want to say? Be you. You hear that? Be you. Just be you. But see, I would think, you need to take responsibility for your actions. You need to care about others too, right? Like, because being you means you're a bad person who doesn't care about anybody else. That's not supposed to be.
it's okay to be you as long as you feel the same way for everybody else.
Be you in the way, like, dress your own way, but care about other people.
Exactly. There we go. Anything else either you want to say?
Everything to say? No, she's like, no, I'm done.
I mean, you didn't really finish, so
Um,
anything else you want to say?
Well, I just think that a lot of people that worry about bringing their kids into that world need to maybe be more open to the idea, maybe open up with their children, because
A lot,
children
I think.
are so intuitive and so smart in a way that us grown-ups maybe have been a little ruined by society, and they see things in such a clear-cut way. When you go into a group of kids, they don't see things in these terms that we've been raised in, and they see things so, like, they'll accept anybody, they'll accept everyone, and adults just don't do that. Even the best adults don't
Develop
do that.
prejudices, yeah.
We don't even know we're doing it, and we do that, and we need to fix it, and kids fix that for people. I mean, I don't think my eyes have ever been as open as I was until I became a parent, and then it was like, you just want your kid to be whoever they are, and you realize everybody should be whoever they are. It's just that simple all of a sudden, where was it before?
It's a big change, yeah.
And I think allowing kids to be part of that movement is incredibly important. And when people say, well, aren't you worried that they're not safe? We can't send our kids to school and have them be safe. This isn't a safe world. So they can either fight for their right to be safe, or we can tell them to stay at home and they're not going to be safe anyway.
So I guess, one more question. What does love mean to you?
Love is absolute acceptance of somebody for who they are.
Perfect. Lola, what does love mean to you?
Love means that you should be caring for other people and not just you.
Exactly. But you got to love yourself and other
Yeah.
people, right? Okay. Well, thank you guys so much. Give me a pound. Thank you guys so much for coming on. It's been fantastic. I wish we had more time, but if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. I will relay the information, I promise. Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been fantastic. This is your old pal CK Blackwood, signing off.
Bye.